Alrighty people, it seems we're finally on holidays, yeehaw. This is going to be a video showing the new methods I am working out for Boxthorn. You will see me try method number 2, which we will find out if it works or not, but I'm probably not going to go with that in the long run, although I have the equipment for it already, because it's not 100% effective, as you'll see. I don't know if it's going to work or it's not going to, but there's better options than option 2. Now option 3 you will also hear about, but that's sort of limited because it's a mains powered device, so I've got to cart a generator around, but I've got to use it anyway. So I went and got another blade for option 3. Option 4 is working dramatically well. And I went and got a bit more gear for it today. I have been doing option 4 with the DeWalt. I've got the battery sitting inside. Little Porky Milwaukee. He's got a small battery on him, but he's also got a big battery which is also sitting inside. A couple of spade bits. And I went and bought myself another toy. Now I already had the batteries, and I got the impact driver for work, and I got the angle grinder for myself, and well, I can't really do option 4 with the impact driver, so I've got a drill. It was only $100. It's just a 2-gear one, no hammer drill option, but I also got a beautiful flippin' huge 22mm, I think it's like 7/8 auger bit for option 4, and I have been exercising option 4 quite a bit, even though it really heats these drills up. We have seen thermal protection actually kick in with the DeWalt here, because well, the batteries get a bit warm in all these things, and with option 4, which you'll see me do it several times in this video, I actually try to alternate between the drills to give them a chance to cool their batteries down. And for this one I've got 2 batteries, and for this one, even though I've only done one with it so far, one bush, I've got 2 batteries as well. But this one's only got one, and she heats up quite a bit, both the battery and the drill. But having said that, I think it's the way to go for all small Boxthorns. And yeah, so I'll leave you to the rest of the video, and you can see it all in action and understand what all the options are and why I'm sticking with a mixture of option 1 and option 4, which is working out fantastically. Alrighty, well, we are exercising the second option. This is only about the 4th tree, but I'm starting to develop some theories and tactics, like if I fill this hole at the top, it's all full of sawdust still, I'll blow it out in a second. If I fill this hole at the top, and it's directly in line with the one below it, when it runs out, it'll go into this one instead of just dribbling on the ground, like the last 3 trees, which were actually the first 3 trees I've ever tried this method on. As you can see, there is just a bit of sawdust. What I've been doing, I've got the big DeWalt honky there with me 19mm spade bit. This is out of a really cheap, crappy bloomin' set, and quite honestly, I think she's blunt already, so I might have to go to my father's house and get the other 2 sets I own that are still in his cupboard. And then I've got little Porky here with his long shank drill bit, and little Porky Milwaukee has been going flat out into these holes here. Now, just give us a sec. I'll pause this and I'll show you what it actually looks like when you blow the shit out. Hang on. I'll just blow it out anyway. Oh, God, blow, it's fucking crap everywhere. That gives you an idea there. Now, I even had one at the top before, but I realised it's a little bit pointless because when you go to tip it in, it never gets the top one because they all just sink into the bottom one and go down into the bottom ones. What I've also noticed is it probably would be a great idea if I had some sort of a syringe mechanism or something along those lines. Because when you fill this up, the glyphosate is rather viscous. In other words, it's pretty thick. It's not quite as thick as motor oil, but probably thicker than canola oil. So what I'm noticing is you'll go to pour it in, and there'll be bubbles, and you'll be trying to pour it into the holes, and there'll just be sort of, it'll all pull up around the main thing of the hole in the bottom, and then you just see bubbles on the top of all the smaller holes. And it's like as though it's not soaking in. So what you got to do is you got to get a bit of grass and basically pop the bubbles, and then some pours in, and it almost looks like it empties out. So then you tip a bit more in and refill it again until it'll actually sit in there and you've got all the bubbles out of the smaller holes. So anyway, I'll blow the rest of the sawdust out of these and continue on. Alrighty, over to my parents' place last night to get a bore a bit, which I found I had myself. Using the crap Chinese one, and the blooming thing pretty much burnt out. There was actually letting go of a bit of smoke. So I went and thought I had some of those at their house, and turns out I didn't. And I had a pack here. Reasonable brand, Brazilian made, but they're pretty good brand. So yeah, but while I was over there, my father had this soft drink, and what do you know, that soft drink was also stevia sweetened. All of a sudden it just seems it's all taken off around here. Stevia sweetening is getting really common really quick, right under my nose, and quite surprising. Anyway, it's flaming cold. It's probably only about 55 or 57 Fahrenheit or something like that. It's about 11 degrees Celsius in the house, which is cool for such a bright flaming sun. But this is the time you got to go out and get sorted with weed spraying and stuff like that. You can't do it in hot weather because the pores close up and then you've got no hope, because it just will not absorb the poison. So there's a few areas where some of the boxthorn, you know, they're reasonably tall. They're 8 or 9 foot tall, and I can't quite get to the top of them. And I've killed all around the outside, but I haven't killed the leaves on the top. So I'm going to try and go down there with that and get on the ladder and spray the top. The idea being that the sods might make a comeback if the top's still alive. And if we can spray that as well, we'll knock them out. There's a few where I've got very little on top, and I've worked out this, you know, I can perch on a rock and just get that last top bit. Others, especially where they're growing big banks, I'm going to need a ladder. So I've got an aluminium ladder, and I'm going to basically go down there and stand on the ladder and give them a blast from above, death from above, and and see how we go with all that. But I want to try and get 20 litres through that before it warms up for the day, and then I've got to come back and charge up my big DeWalt drill, and then go off and start drilling holes in the side and poisoning a few others. Yeah. Alrighty, well, it turns out the ladder idea was a bit of a dud. It's very hard to get ground where all 4 feet of the ladder are actually on the ground without one in midair. And it's a bit of a circus trying to do it on steep ground. because of the angle of the ground. You can only stand on one side of the ladder. And it seems the damn wind direction changes every blasted 10 seconds down there sometimes. And quite honestly, it really could do with at least another 2 foot longer on the lance. It could do with another 5 foot, to be honest. It'd be great if it had another 5 foot length on the lance. Even 2 foot would be good. But anyways, if you are on the side of the ladder that's on the lower side of the hill, you're going to tip the ladder up. So what you do is you get on the side that's on the higher side, but because the ladder is one of these ones that's two halves on an angle, the higher you get up the ladder, the further back you're getting from the plant. So you're stuffed either way. It was a bit of a stupid idea. But anyway, the few that I still just had to get the tips of a few of the tops of some of them, I did actually get those. But some of these other ones in the big banks, not a hope. So we'll see if it's going to work or it's not going to work or whatever. Yeah, maybe in future, if the things come back again next year, I'll have to buy one with a bloody big lance as an accessory, because you often get them with a short lance. But there's some of the good brands will give you the long lance as an accessory that you order in. And if these things decide to come back next year, that may be the option. We'll see. It might be the option to... Some of them, it's probably not that hard to get to the base, and if I go down there with a lops and chop a couple of bits, I may just go and hit him in the base with a drill and put the poison in. Now, I want to talk about another option. Hang on a second, I might as well go get it because I can show it. Alrighty. Saber saw, or reciprocating saw. This one's, it's not too great, but it's not too bad either. Takes your universal blades. You slot him. Now I knew on camera I'd be battling to find the bloody slot. I slotted straight in last night without a problem. There you go. That blade's obviously shit. I may be able to use this to cut off, well, the Boxthorns at the stump, like I did with the chainsaw, but instead of dealing with chainsaw blades, we're dealing with cheap, blooming, easily replaceable, quick changeover, reciprocating saw blades. The only trouble with this is, she's corded, and this will run exceedingly easy on the generator. I could probably run about 3 of these at once on the generator, theoretically. It'll very easily run on the generator. The generator, you wouldn't even notice it's under load with just this one running. But then I'd need to get the generator down there, which would be a shitstorm because I can't drive down there because of all the damn Boxthorn prickles. I'm likely to come back with 3 burst tyres. So there is another option. Now, some of you may remember Mr. Cordless Angle Grinder. Well, I wouldn't be using him, but I can get one of these reciprocating saws, saber saws, that takes the same batteries, and what it basically means is we can get one of these without the plug, and I can just whack on the drill batteries or the angle grinder batteries. I've got the impact driver, I've got the collated screwdriver for work, and I could just whack those same batteries into one of these. They're worth about $230. The brand that's the same brand I've already got the batteries for, which is quite a good brand, and go down there and just saw them off. And my father says, oh, it might not be a very good idea, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I can try it out by using this with a generator with one of the ones near the house. And just get one of the ones near where I keep the generator and, you know, whack in a new blade and see how we go. And the reality is that the blades, you know, you can get them very cheap in the States, only $1 each. They're more expensive here, as almost everything is. But it may be a very realistic option. I'm waiting to see what the results are going to be in regards to this business of boring in and then pouring the poison in the boreholes. But fact of the matter is I've sort of wanted one of these in a way anyway, because it's very good for lopping off the little branches and crap off some logs. And I mean, I can do it with a chainsaw, you know, when I'm cleaning up logs for firewood use, but yeah, well, the old chainsaw doesn't like the Boxthorn either. So the real idea behind using a cordless one of these would just be the fact that the blades are so cheap and, you know, so easily change overable, and there's none of this sort of mixing up two-stroke and bar oil and all this sort of rubbish and you know, hoping to, you know, get it running and go down there with a screaming machine sort of thing, trying not to hit the rocks, you know, and yeah, so that may be a third option. I could get a 12-volt cordless one of these. Fact of the matter is that even the brushless 12-volt that uses the same batteries as little Porky Milwaukee here, quite frankly, it wouldn't be strong enough to do the job. There are people who have cut through 4x2 without a big deal, but that was nice pine, softwood, not some gnarly-ass Boxthorn that's got that many twists and turns and so much weight above, it's ridiculous, and I don't want to buy a tool that's not even going to be usable. So if I do buy a reciprocating saw or a saber saw, I'm going to buy the one that takes the same batteries as this turkey here. It's, yeah, we'll see how we go. I don't think I'll knock out absolutely everything. Oh, by the way, my father put in the extra panel too. But, you know, I hope to get 75–80%, and we'll just see how we go. And, yeah. Alrighty. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but the reason the poison isn't going down the holes is because it's so thick, and it's effectively bridging, much the same way as a solder bridge. For those of you involved in electronics, you'll know what a solder bridge is. And, well, when you bog up plaster walls, you've got, you know, the bog sort of straddles both sides, which is much the same as what it does when you put, you know, bog into car body filler and stuff like that. And it's that thick, it just sort of bridges over these holes. And I'm poking bits of grass down there, and it's popping the bubbles, and it's sort of working all right. But I sort of thought to myself, as I was drilling through, or drilling into with the borer bit, one of these smaller branches, I thought if you had a big enough borer bit, you could just cut the bloody thing right off. And I've seen some specialised ones for sale in the same place I bought this chainsaw from, actually. And they're ones, I'm not joking, they go to like 1.5 foot. It's like 18-inch borer. Massive thing. To be used on normal drills too, you know, much the same as drills like that. But I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be great if we had a big wide borer like that and we could just cut them off? And I thought, hang on, we already do. Hole saws. Now this is a cheapo brand of hole saw set I got, which I didn't really need to get, but I knew it would come in handy, and it was only $15 or something. It's pretty cheap at the time. I forget how much it cost, but it was bloody cheap. So I bought this. And yeah, you got your smaller ones, ones that are even smaller than that. Hang on, just flip this open here. This is it's greasy. Yeah, little fart ones, 7/8, 22 mil, right up to, I think that's 2 7/8, yeah, 73 mil. Well, guess what else I found too? Oh, forgot I even owned them. Another bunch of borer bits. There's another 7/8 one there. These are nasty, nasty borer bits. I forgot I even owned them. I got that many damn tools I bought years ago. Forgot I even owned half of them. So I'll go down there and I'll run this in the big DeWalt and see what we can do. And if I don't quite get through completely, well, I can finish it off with this one, can't I? Don't really want to use this one because that's one that's come out of my car. That's the one it's just like you. Oh, hang on. This one's a Smarty Pants one. It's got the flipping lock in the back. Hang on a second. Come on, Porky. That's one I want to leave in my survival bag, so I don't want to go and blunting that one. But she is an absolute beauty, this one. And I don't think I've used it much. Oh yeah, I have used it, but not much. So I want to keep that one sharp, but I'll use this one here, which is a pretty sharp device anyway, in conjunction with that hole saw. And I'll take the camera down and I'll see what we can do. Well, it's not a terribly stupid idea. It sort of works, except it doesn't quite cut through, because the depth of the hole saw is only, you know, that deep or whatever. 2 inches or so. But if you start hacking away with the saw from the other side, yeah, you get right through. I was actually floored. It just happened all in a few seconds flat, pretty much. I think I'm onto something, especially if I can get a deeper hole saw. That would be great. But they're only made just to cut holes in plywood and stuff like that, and you know, we're attacking the whole width of this stuff. But if I could sort of go from one side and then work from the other side, yeah, it'd be alright. But when you're getting out of the end, it kinks and goes a bit stupid there, but nothing that the old DeWalt couldn't handle. I'll get some poison on that now while it's still fresh.